an NYPD officer tries to save his wife and several others taken hostage by German terrorists during a Christmas party at the Nakatomi Plaza in Los Angeles. Boys, girls, etc. This week, say hello to my little film, Die Hard, motherfucker.
Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. No. Say hello to my little
Film.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Say Hello to My Little Film. This is the podcast where we watch those notorious movies that people say you just got to see. Yes. I am your host, Ryan, and I'm joined by my other co-hosts,
Ariel,
Jesse,
Casey.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Now, you might have noticed we switched it up on you a little bit there.
You probably didn't notice.
Yeah, you might not have. But for the longest time, we've been saying culturally relevant, and I think that's causing a hiccup.
That shit is confusing, maybe.
Yeah, amongst even within ourselves.
Not only the viewer listener is concerned, but the people participating are also confused.
Jesse's had a few mental breakdowns.
I've had a rough week.
We had a text chain that lasted, the whole day.
An entire day. Yeah.
Trying to figure it out and nail it down.
After paragraph.
Yes. So notorious. Notoriously bad, notoriously good.
Yes.
Maybe something that just a famous reference comes from.
Yeah.
You know about it.
Yeah.
You know about it.
You definitely know about a movie that we do.
That's
it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So this time, we did the notorious film Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yes.
And guys,
Woo.
really nervous.
Yeah, me too.
We haven't been seeing eye to eye on a lot of these movies.
So much
right.
bullshit has gone going into purgatory that deserved the pit or deserved the manor.
Yes. And
I'm fuming.
I guess we got to just dive right in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Wait. Before
right
we
in.
dive in, can we do facts and stuff before we start talking about?
True.
Yeah.
That can be
yeah.
the segment that we do next.
Ooh, a segment.
Yeah.
I'm
Got to do the shoulder shuffle
segment.
when you do the
A
segment.
segment. I'm doing the shoulder wave for those.
If
And
you
we're doing it around the
donate to our Patreon, then you get a little gif of that.
Yes. Note to self: create a Patreon. So I don't have facts this time.
Okay.
Mostly, I do have.
My bad. I didn't mean to call you out.
I do have. It's the only one I haven't done.
Cool.
I do have box office and budget
Okay.
as usual. That's the first thing I do.
Does Casey know it again?
No. I
No,
don't know
okay,
either.
cool.
And I
Yeah.
told her
Good
not
guess.
to look, and she's not looking, so she can
Okay,
finally
good.
participate. And she just looked down.
I didn't
saw
see
you look
anything.
down.
I didn't see anything.
Oh boy.
I have a pen covering the results.
All right.
Okay, so because we're gonna go around and guess.
This
what
movie
we
came out
think.
in 1988.
1988.
I want to start getting good at this.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
1988. Die Hard. Casey, what is your guess?
1.2 million. That's the
Budget?
budget. Yeah.
Okay.
1.2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think 30.
Okay.
God, I don't even know. I guess I'm going to guess 16 million.
Oh wow. Okay, so we're all over the board here.
Yes.
28 million.
Oh my God, Ryan.
Ryan is
Just
getting.
I went bust though.
1.2 million.
Well, no, it's closest. It's not closest without going over. We don't
okay.
do those rules.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's fine. As long as you're within 5. What about that?
Okay.
I mean, you literally don't win anything, so I don't think that
Just
matters.
pride.
So
Well, you still got
28.
your dignity, you know?
Yeah.
that's true. So 28 million was the budgie. What about the boxy, Casey?
300 million then.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good guess. I'm gonna say 320.
I'm saying 300 million.
Wow. Grossly overguessed on all
Fuck.
of you.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
141.5.
Oh.
Fucking
So
losers.
I feel like, do you understand box office is what it made in the
Yeah.
box office?
Yeah.
Not all time of the movie. I'm sure it's
Yeah,
made much
no.
more after
Sure,
that.
sure,
But
sure.
as it's run in the
It just seems
box
like
office
it was such a big hit that it seems like
now.
because
I
it's
mean, that's-
notorious for some
But it
reason.
seems like it
Right.
was then too.
I mean,
even
they
in the
made
90s.
Back in
6
88.
of them.
Action movie at Christmas.
Bruce Willis,
Yeah.
shirtless,
Come on.
smoking, shooting guns.
Wasn't a white tee, became
Quipping.
black by the end.
Correct. Well, he climbed through one vent and it became the blackest shirt I've ever seen.
Cleanest looking
have that
vent
picture.
I've ever
I
seen.
literally have that same note.
It was a clean vent
It was very
on an
clean.
unfinished building.
You guys don't know he crawled forward first, then went back.
Oh,
Yeah.
he just
And that's
mopped,
when
he
you saw
just
the scene.
mopped the
Yeah.
area a
He
little bit.
cleaned all.
I
it
gotcha.
all
Right.
first.
All road
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, there you
Yes, exactly.
go. That I could see.
So, yeah, I was very shocked by those numbers
Seems low.
from what we've dealt with in the past with different budgets and stuff like that.
I wish we had the numbers for the past ones in front of us, because wasn't Back to the Future like 300 million or something? Oh snap! You do have that.
This is why we keep notes, folks. Back to the Future's budget was 19 million, and it made 389
Jesus
million
Christ.
in the box office.
No.
Yeah.
Uncomparable.
And that was pretty much
fucking
the
dumb.
biggest. I think that was the biggest gap
I wonder if
besides Halloween.
yeah, Halloween
that was
because it
300,000
and yeah,
the budget and
the budget
60
was
million
nothing
yeah,
for-
that was pretty sweet.
So that was a pretty huge one. Actually, and Home Alone was 18 million budget, 476 million box office.
All children.
So well, their parents.
We know how Ryan feels about that one. Let's not go back.
Yes.
You love him.
So yeah.
So yes,
It's pretty nuts.
Okay, so
if you ask
maybe
me.
Bruce Willis wasn't that famous then.
Is this
Like, yeah, what
is this the one?
Is this?
Is this the movie?
Well, when did his career take off?
I have no idea.
1988.
I
The one
think
thing I
so.
know about Bruce Willis's career is that he doesn't like being an actor. He actually
Really?
wants to be a blues harmonica player.
Oh
Oh.
my god, how
But who
come
wouldn't?
that makes so much sense looking at his face?
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
There's like you can find videos of him on YouTube. Like,
you know, he doesn't do that much acting really.
yeah, he really is kind of just like
He's just a
go to
body.
California, have a couple laughs.
His
what they
best
said.
performance was in Friends for sure.
Friends?
Did
The
you see that?
television show
Oh,
Friends?
Yeah,
Friends?
remember when he made his cameo?
Yeah, he made a cameo.
He
Meanwhile,
dates Rachel.
yeah,
That I
Bruce
did
Willis
not
says-
know.
You know what's even crazier? They watched Die Hard in
That universe.
Friends. Joey and Ross and Chandler are
Chandler.
like, let's get Die Hard again. We rented it twice. So
And
they
then
watched
Rachel
Die Hard.
dates Bruce Willis.
So actual like he wasn't playing a
Nope.
character
No, he-
in the show. He was playing Bruce
No,
Willis.
he was playing a character.
No.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you. So he was not.
But how confusing is that?
That's confusing.
And they're never even like, you look like that guy from our favorite movie.
You look exactly like that guy.
Yeah.
Have you ever
That's
gotten-
fucking Mike.
Yes. So what else we got to say about it?
Who hasn't seen it?
I, Jesse speaking, have not seen. Shout out to the train horn.
I haven't seen it either. I played the video game when I was a kid, but I've never seen
Oh
the
my God.
first
You
one.
sent me the clip of that, and I
Yes.
watched it for an embarrassingly long amount of time.
I didn't even know there was a video game.
Oh, it was the best. PlayStation 1.
Was it like Grand Theft Auto? I
It-
feel like it would be
You know
like
what
that.
it wasn't like? It wasn't like Die Hard.
Okay.
But it was funny all the little like sayings that he would say throughout the video game.
Oh my God.
It
Yeah.
was the best.
That's awesome.
It was obviously a bad like voice actor doing the lines. From
Oh my god.
I always love those.
I wish I had a PS1, honestly.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right. So I'm going to pull up my notes here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pull him up.
So I hadn't seen this movie before last year. I saw it for the first time last year, and then this was my second time watching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I
Noticed a lot more this time around.
You normally do on the second watching.
Thankful.
And I will say that I'm excited to find out what happened towards the end of this movie, because I was in and out of slumber.
What on earth?
We had a long day
I
on
don't
Wednesday.
Give a shit.
Okay.
No
And,
fucking excuses.
I
This is your
was
job.
very comfortable on the couch.
We had the
Um,
candles going.
yes.
It was
all that turkey.
I'm sorry.
It
That was Wednesday.
It was.
Wednesday.
I was thinking about
Oh,
the turkey.
Yeah.
But happy Thanksgiving,
You gotta-
guys, by the
Yes,
way.
right, that's right.
We celebrated a national holiday.
gobble gobble.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker. Yeah, so you guys want to talk about the
Jesse is carrying the
movie?
podcast
Or
right now.
every time there's a pause, I'm like, should I just, what do I talk about now? Bruce
I-
Willis in the movie has been a cop for 11 years.
Yeah, and he's an NYPD. So I guess we can break down the like the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
McLaren. Bruce Willis is the lead character.
It's Bruce Willie.
Oh, that's
It's-
Bruce Willie.
It's Bruce Willie. Yes, Bruce Willie plays an NYPD police officer who stayed in New York after his wife
This is complicated.
moved to LA for a good business opportunity,
Yeah.
but they haven't seen each other in an amount of time, and things are rough.
and
Right.
they're not divorced.
Right.
They're technically not divorced, even though she has stopped using her
Yes.
It's complicated.
McLaren
Yeah.
name.
Right.
Indeed.
How weird.
Yes.
And they do have kids
Yes.
that are
Yep.
pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
it's not like the marriage
Yeah,
can't be
that's
that
like
old.
when that kind of got brought into it. I was like, oh, like he's like, yeah, I'm a cop in New York, and I still got a list full of guys I got to bust. And I was like, no, you fucking don't. You need to be with your children.
Transfer to a different place with bad guys.
You know what?
Yeah, LAPD.
There's bad people all over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
You could
That's
go anywhere.
Like the most unbelievable part of this movie is that he wouldn't go to LA with his
Yeah,
family
and
well,
even
because of his cop job. How much do they get paid in NY?
oh,
a lot
do.
more
You're talking
than
about the PD in
yeah.
NY?
Probably
That
quite a
goes-
bit, but I would assume more for LAPD because
Yes.
it's California.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
he-
they
all
have
I know is-
terrorists to deal with.
Yeah, he went to LA and busted the craziest crime of all time the first day he
Wouldn't
got
you
there.
be like, maybe this is where I need to
It's
be?
like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
there's a business opportunity for me here.
Yeah.
Right.
You would think.
I
But
mean,
I mean,
somebody's got to replace
they
those.
clearly reconciled by the end, so maybe
You know, he's shitting on California kind of the entire time.
It's
but
great.
when you think about it, he goes
Fuck
to California.
California.
He becomes the greatest cop in the world.
Yes.
The first day he arrives. Not only that, but he's helped out with the greatest travel tip of all time, which is
Oh my god.
take your shoes off and walk around on the rug and make fists with your toes.
Yes.
Yep.
And it works.
Yep.
It works. And he's sitting here, he's like, oh, California. He sees a hot girl run up and hug a guy, and he's like, ugh, California.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he gets to the Christmas party and he gets kissed by that drunk guy, and he's like, California.
California.
I'm like, what is this image of California? Because those two things don't paint a picture for me of California.
Right. What is he saying? He's like,
don't
oh, they're
understand.
having fun here.
They're good looking. And
Yeah.
they're having
Everything's a
fun.
party in California.
California.
Not like New York, where you get $1 slice. You know?
He's like, where's the homeless guy spitting in my mouth?
Ryan, they're called transients.
Oh.
Yes.
Be
Okay.
a little
Street
sensitive.
dwellers.
Sure. Garbage men.
That's somehow worse.
You gotta wake up every day and they go to their box office.
Oh, snap.
Yo, can we get a table high five for that?
Absolutely not.
That was everybody.
All
I
of
got,
it.
I got everybody. The scenery when he arrives,
Oh, the jungle paradise?
the
Oh.
post-apocalyptic, smog-covered orange.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the office.
No.
Gotcha.
They're
Yeah,
driving in the limo.
Yeah.
Driving through, looking at the scenery.
Oh my God! Yeah, it cuts to the shot of the city.
What?
Yeah,
What has ever looked like that?
it looks like Judgment Day.
That is straight up a green screen of Judgment Day behind every shot. That I've never seen an orange. I've never seen a movie more orange than this movie.
The Martian was less orange.
I don't know. I feel like LA is disgusting, so
Yeah.
it makes sense that there would be that much
I guess.
pollution in the air.
At that, well, I
Like
guess at that
literally,
time it
I've
was
seen
probably
fires.
people. There's fires, which does make everything orange. But
Yeah.
then also, like, I've seen people go up on those mountains where the Hollywood sign is, and they do the hiking up there, and like you can see the city. It's not that far, but you can't because of the smog.
right.
And like when me and Ryan visited, you can't see the horizon line. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's jarring.
Jarring.
It's really weird.
You know what I think? Maybe it was the director kind of going, "We're going to put you in Bruce Willis's body and let you see it through his eyes."
This
And he
is
sees
what
it. So
As a
LA
hellscape.
seems.
So that's what he's doing. He's going California because he just sees orange people everywhere.
right.
Orange.
Perhaps
Was he looking in the White House?
Little Garfield.
everything's orange. Yeah, he sees a bunch of
Take a-
orange kids.
Little Garfields.
I got it. First,
Two extra
high
people
five on the
came in.
podcast from Ariel on that one.
I don't even know what I high fived.
Exactly, and I'm okay with that
Okay.
as long as I got one. Yeah, and there's people constantly running into each other. It was a
Do you mean at the party?
a theme throughout.
Okay.
In the airport, he was getting bumped into,
Mm-hmm.
knocked around. The Christmas party, he's getting bumped into,
Which,
knocked around.
Like, I get it. They're trying to say like LA is super crowded.
Hustle and bustle.
So is New York.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably more.
Arguably more because it's a smaller space.
Yeah.
Okay, guy.
So if I look down at my notes in order, my first note is fists with toes, and my second note is immediately he's the man, in all caps.
He is.
He's like walking through the airport with a cigarette, and he's got this giant bear, and he's just looking around. He's got this like look on his face. He's just like
He doesn't give a shit.
he doesn't give a
smirk.
shit.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a smirk there.
Yeah.
that
He's the man.
That he's better than everyone
I
in
think
this
that's
state.
I think that's a New York thing.
It's awesome.
That's true. Forget about it.
I
rules.
really do. They want to forget about California.
Exactly.
Forget about it.
Hey, drop California off the side of the map. Forget about it.
Goodbye.
Yeah, so there's people just bumping into each other everywhere. He shows up straight to the business.
Okay, and
He didn't go
also,
anywhere first.
Like yes.
Well, because he was going to the Christmas party.
Okay,
Yeah,
but I'm
Argyle.
confused. I'm confused a little bit. Let me just break this down
Argyle.
because this is a weird scenario to me. Her boss paid for his plane ticket because
Yes.
he later thanks him for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, her boss, his estranged wife's boss,
Mm-hmm.
paid for his plane ticket to come and see his kids at Christmas and her. He doesn't call her to let her know that he's on the way. Doesn't call to say that he's landed. He books a limo. What?
His boss.
Boss got the limo
Yes.
as well.
Also.
Okay.
Yes.
That answers that a little.
Argyle
makes
in
it
the
a little bit
limo
more
was from the
clear.
boss.
A little bit better, but still pretty weird. And then he just goes straight to the party
Mm-hmm.
dressed like that.
Yeah, he didn't have any. He didn't have a bag
No.
or other clothes or anything.
No, it was just
No.
the teddy bear.
Which he just
Yeah.
left in the back of the limo.
Yeah, but didn't they
Yeah.
end up in the limo at the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the end, yes.
So everything's.
He's like, we're
His
coming
kids
back
got
here.
that bear.
Which also, he rode in the front seat.
Also, why
Yeah.
did he
Of the
only get
limo.
one bear for 2 kids?
Thank you. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
The bear, I think,
One
was
bear.
for the wife.
He's like, I'm gonna stay and be a cop for years. He's probably a pretty shit dad.
True.
That's true.
Also,
Hey, here's
when
one
he
bear,
thinks he's
split it.
gonna, when
Yeah.
he thinks he's gonna die, he's like, "Tell my wife all this stuff," and I'm like, "What about your children?"
Right?
That's
Doesn't say anything.
She'll pass it
just
along.
as important.
And his big message is, tell her I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job being a quality human.
Yeah, so he's showing up for it's also why for this for a Christmas work party. It seems like that's
Also,
kinda
they're
like,
having it on Christmas Eve. Like,
Yeah.
don't you have plans Christmas Eve evening?
Oh yeah.
Christmas
you
Eve.
definitely should.
Yeah.
Apparently, everybody else in the building did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because it was
Yeah,
just their
right,
floor,
right.
just their company was.
Yeah,
Unless, I guess it wasn't a finished building. So
It's
were they
because-
the only
it's
ones?
Because it was
I
a
don't know.
Japanese
know.
company.
Yeah,
That's
but
true. They
they
don't
didn't
celebrate
care.
Christmas.
Yeah.
You're in America.
Which is what he thought. I didn't know you Japs celebrate Christmas or
Did he
whatever.
say
He said,
Japs?
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
Seems
but that's
racist.
what he meant.
That was Jesse,
basically.
Jesse having a Freudian slip right there. Sorry.
I'm choking on my sody pop. Yeah. So, let's and then
So he
You
arrives.
don't have to fill the dead space.
She's pretty shook because she was not expecting him at all.
She instantly creams.
Yeah. And then the creepo coworker that's like hitting on her is like
Doing
"Hey,
coke all the time.
check
Oh,
out.
Cokehead
Oh yeah.
McCookson? Yeah.
Check,
Mr. Cokeson. Mr. McCookson. Sorry, that was funny.
check out her watch. I got her a Rolex, like trying to flex on John McClane. But
Yeah, he's like, show her the watch. Or show him the watch.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'll check it out later.
Clearly a skinny.
It's a Rolex?
that guy sucks.
Clearly a skinny penis. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yes.
And then they go into that private bathroom to talk about things.
Appropriate.
And wow.
it was going well for a little while.
Yeah, at first because she was like, "I missed you," and his
Yeah.
chest hair was.
She
in
even
two
called.
distinct
She
balls
called
on
her
his chest.
maid.
He is so. Oh
Casey.
my god.
Casey. Casey, girl.
He was
I am
not,
right there with
Yeah.
you.
I have a note that says, where is it? Can Bruce fuck me in that private bathroom?
Jesse.
You know, he wasn't green, right?
Wait.
What?
Oh, Beetlejuice.
Oh. Yeah, Bruce
Beetlejuice is
Willis's
green.
breath probably smells a lot better than Beetlejuice's.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Good thing that Jesse looks just like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, he does.
No worries, bro.
Spitting image.
And Beetlejuice, because I think we
In
made the same joke.
He should have been the model for every mannequin with a tank top on.
Yes.
His
That was the
arms.
perfect male physique.
Can
Yes.
we talk
Right?
about his arms?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Christ.
Beautiful. And the thing is, it's elegant. You know what I mean? It's not too in your
much.
face.
Right. He doesn't. He
You know what
doesn't
I'm
take steroids.
a
You can
perfect
tell.
Right, right. No, and he's not veiny. He's not like he doesn't have the skin of a hot dog.
No, but he is shiny.
Yes.
But it's good.
He's like, but he's shiny with the right amount of hair
There's
to combat
hair.
the
Except
the
not on
slime.
his head that much.
Yeah, the hair.
It's short. It's getting thin.
It's thinning out, and somehow I don't care.
Nope.
It's still fine.
I
He can
don't
finger bang me
fucking care.
all
Oh
day.
He
my
could
God.
eat cabbage out of my ass.
Good God.
I'm dead ass serious. I could not help it. I was
Yeah.
watching it. I was just like, I want to get like that.
Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't mind it.
I don't look at like I look at Mr. Universe guys and I'm like, fucking freak. What is that?
Yeah.
But I looked at Bruce Willis
monster.
in this. Yeah. Monster. But yeah, I was like, this is the man. Again,
yeah.
he's the man.
Yeah, and it's like a combination of his body and his like attitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
'Cause he don't
it
give a
works.
fuck.
Yeah, and like I can tell he's an asshole and they fight, but like I
He's just-
would get in on that marriage still.
Yeah. You can tell he's got
I would be there for it.
you can tell he's got a lot of emotions, but he just doesn't.
Yeah, because when
show
he
them.
walks away, he's like, oh, good job, so mature. Like,
I
he's
love-
chastising himself.
He talks to himself a
He
lot.
talks to
He
himself.
does.
He
It
has
was a
to
lot.
because he's alone.
Okay,
Yeah.
my favorite part of when he talks to himself is when he's on the roof screaming at himself.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because you fucking asshole. Talking to himself.
Dang it, John!
I like when he has the two. Yeah, he has two conflicting points.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, why didn't you go in there and stop him?
Well,
then
because-
you'd be dead
Then
too,
be
asshole.
dead, yeah. How many
Yeah.
people are in his head?
I wish he had like facial tics that shifted his personality.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they have to do that. They're just trying to give you exposition.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing too that you always worry about when someone has perfect arms that are kind of beefy is if their head is going to be too small.
Uh-huh.
Nope.
Did not find that to be
No,
the
he's
case.
Nope.
perfect.
Yeah.
Shaped like an action figure.
I just
Which-
need to see his calves because his feet were really bony,
Oh yeah.
like kind of scary skeletal.
Yeah, they didn't
Well,
put him
he
in
was
shorts.
working them out with those toe fists.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it did set the precedent for the rest of the movie where he's barefoot.
I
Which is-
liked the noises of his bare feet on the
Yeah.
cement.
Oh my
It's
God,
one
I
of
didn't
the
even
best
notice that.
parts. The fact that he's barefoot. I don't know why that is such an awesome detail, but it is.
It is like gives him character.
and it's
then when
totally
it's
unique to this movie.
when it's addressed later by Hans Gruber, he's like better than being caught without pants. Like he just thinks it's funny too. He's not bothered by it.
Right.
Yeah. He thinks it's
He's
funny.
too much of a superhero.
Yeah,
Because like
He has hubris.
everything, yeah, and like, nothing is it's not serious.
it's no
Oh, I think
problem.
it
Hey,
is.
forget about it.
But it's not serious because I mean he doesn't take it as serious the
He
situation.
starts to get kind
he
of
does
panicky.
eventually.
He does eventually,
but,
but-
it takes like an hour.
In the beginning, you're like, wait, there's German
Well,
terrorists
yeah.
that come in shooting up the building. What
And
the
his
heck?
wife's in there.
Yeah.
Well, he handles it pretty good at first because he's even like toying with them. He
Yeah.
kills the
Yeah.
first terrorist and he puts him in a Christmas sweater and puts him in a,
God.
and it is you said you were like that's a dead body. And
Like
I was
that's
ho, ho,
so
now I have a
morbid.
machine gun.
Yeah.
yeah, and he's like he's over like for him to stage
yes,
a
exactly.
dead body is
Think
kind
about
of like
that. He undressed him
He's
because
crazy.
he wanted his shoes. So you know he undressed him. And then he was like, you saw him look at the body and smirk. And I was like, ew. He's thinking, I'm going to write some shit and fuck with these guys. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
so
yeah.
dark.
yeah.
He's got some dark.
But I mean, but how epic was that?
Oh, it was
Like
awesome.
sending
yeah.
him down in the elevator. The guy that's standing there guarding the elevator
turns
turns
and
around and there's a chair with a dead body in the elevator.
yeah, it is
Because it just
spooky.
opens automatically.
Yeah.
Now I have a machine gun is written in blood.
No, can't be. Way not messy enough.
What was it?
It looked like red pencil.
It did look like it was
Pencil.
clean.
Oh yeah, like
Lipstick,
those
maybe?
weird pencils with like the string around the tip.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure, yeah, that's definitely what it was.
I mean,
He
I guess
definitely had
it
access
could be
to that.
lipstick. He didn't have access to that either. But it for
It was
sure,
maybe something for construction up there, like for marking.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought that it was supposed to be blood. Maybe it was
It's
written.
blood.
It's supposed to be blood, but there's
Yeah.
no fucking way that you can have that kind of calligraphy if you're writing in like some
I like
dead
the, I
body's
like the idea
blood.
of him like
Unless
doing
you're
drafts.
Cool Bruce Willis.
I mean, I don't know.
Think about
Well,
it. He's
it
cool as a
prob-
cuke.
You know, it might not be his first time doing
Yeah.
it. He
true.
came up with this idea pretty quick.
He really did.
Yeah.
That's
he knew
true.
how to do the elevator thing too. He was like,
Yeah.
I gotta have this pole in here so I can open the door.
Well, he
Yeah.
was an engineer before he was a cop.
Oh, I didn't catch that. They explained everything.
Interesting. Yeah. He didn't say that to himself in the movie, so I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you have to.
Should have
Wow,
stayed
what?
being an engineer.
Should've been an engineer.
You have to wait
to
for
be a
the
cop
you have
for
to
a
wait
couple
for the
laughs.
scene at the end of the credits. It's-
Oh, see, I didn't make it to that far. Damn it.
yeah, dude.
Um,
Sets the stage for Die Hard.
But
2.
another great part of that of the elevator scene is you get to have our bad guy Hans Gruber, who is also a legendary bad
Professor
guy,
Snape.
who is Professor Snape, who's played by Alan Rickman.
He's also a bad guy in Sweeney Todd.
Uh-huh.
He's that corrupt judge. And then
Galaxy Quest.
He's not the bad guy.
he's not a bad guy, but he is
He
notorious
is
in that.
for a little bit. He turns good at the end.
So does
spoiler.
Snape.
That's well.
Wait.
Whoa.
Snape is not a bad guy really either. So, but he's a dick still.
Yes.
But with that elevator scene, you get him to
Rickman tangent.
you get him to read that the sweater, and he reads it, and it goes, "Now I have a machine gun," and he pulls it down and goes, "Ho, ho, ho."
Exactly how it was meant to be read.
One of the better lines of this entire film.
Now,
Yeah.
I just noticed that was it was a close Alan Rickman, but it was a perfect Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that was on Happy Feet.
Yeah.
Wait, he didn't do Happy Feet.
No, he did the March of the
Penguins.
Penguins.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not like penguin racist. Sorry.
Nope. I don't think anybody thought you were.
So,
I know the difference between penguin movies. Damn it.
so he fights with, I believe it's the first guy that he killed that time with the sweater. Was that him? He was holding a gun to him.
Well, I guess we maybe need to backtrack a little bit because for when these guys arrive.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're having the party and they're arguing, and his wife goes away because she has to like talk to the troops or whatever. And he's in there and he's like banging his head on the door frame because he screwed up again. And that's when he does the toe fist and he's like, "Son of a bitch, it works."
Yeah.
And that's when the terrorists show up and they have this black eccentric nerd guy who's like, "Hey, motherfucker!" And then another dude immediately shoots Tucker Carlson right in the forehead.
It is Tucker Carlson.
That guard is Tucker Carlson.
That's Tucker
80s.
Carlson's dad.
Absolutely. That hair is hilarious.
I was about to ask if it was really him because that looks.
It looks just like
I was
him,
like,
right?
is that why he looked familiar?
Yeah, but they that guy, he's like the bomb squad guy with the nerdy eccentric guy, right? He ends up being the bomb squad guy. He's like the smart person.
He's like the computer hacker / drill
He's
or
the brains.
drill man who's breaking into the vault.
So it's him and some other crony who ends up being the pseudo security guard, right?
Carl.
Yes.
Wait.
No, Carl wasn't.
It was.
They had some.
It was the
all
long blonde
Germans.
hair guy, and then the
There was
black
like
guy.
7 of those.
They ran in, and those two did the initial killing, and then his body flipped over, and then that's when the other guys came in. I thought, and
The
Maybe.
guy who
Well-
swapped out the guard thing was the only guy who wasn't German, and he was like a redneck.
Yes.
I don't know. Those other like blonde male models could have been Swedish.
Oh, I guess you're
They
right.
all looked like they were in Depeche Mode. They did
Yeah.
not look
They
like
were
they were
all
terrorists.
male models. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Even Professor Snape was like kind of
Oh, he looked good too.
kind of stunning in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan
Very
of Hans.
hot.
Fans of Hans.
Hans
I'm too
sexy
for my shirt.
on
Oh, he's kind of a piece of shit in Love Actually too. So maybe he just likes to play those
Yeah.
kinds of roles.
I mean, he's typecast.
Maybe.
You know, but they do run into. So they do the whole front desk scene, and then they go up to the party after they shut down like all the elevators from a certain floor.
And
They
the parking garage.
and the parking garage. They close all the doors. They lock down the building, and then they walk into the party and up through the elevator, and they just start shooting in the ceilings.
Yeah.
And everybody's running around. Like it sounds like there is a straight up mass murder going on.
Yeah.
But nobody was shot. They just
Right.
keep shooting.
It's all scare tactics.
They probably did like 800 rounds just in the ceiling. Like everybody do what we want.
Yeah.
And then of course Bruce Willis in there's curling his toes and he goes, "Wait a second,
Something is amiss.
that sounds like gunshots. I'm a New York cop. I know what gunshots sound like."
That's how he sounds.
Yeah, that's I was doing my
That's
Bruce
your
Willis
best
impression. Yes. So then he peeks out the door and sees what's going on and pulls out his gun, but he doesn't use it yet. Tell me about
Good
it.
one.
Okay.
But they're searching for other people because they're trying to get them all huddled into the center of that floor.
Yes.
Right.
And they're really quick. Like
Yeah.
they secure that
There's a
floor
big
super
thing
quick.
when Bruce Willis even first arrives with the computer desk in the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's looking for his wife
Under the M's.
under
For
under his
McLean.
last
Right.
name, and that ends up being a big plot point later on.
Yeah.
But she's going by her maiden name, which is
Gennaro. or-
Gennaro.
Gennaro.
Yeah.
Gennaro.
Gennaro.
Yeah, and then that's when that guy says, he's like, he goes, "Cute toy," and then the guy goes, "Yeah, if you need to take a leak, it'll help you find your zipper."
What the fuck?
And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah,
"What?
the guard that was originally there. Because like I guess
help you find your zipper."
they're like joking that everything is automated. That's when things just started becoming automated. Like,
Yeah, but that's a problem that no one has.
yeah. I
love
guess.
Japan.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't use my zipper that much.
That's true.
I'm a leggings type of person.
Same.
Sometimes I only use my zipper, but that's for a different story.
Whoa.
Anyway, so so yeah, they show up to that's when I was talking about the jungle paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
in the
lobby
office.
in the office
Yes.
is what the fuck.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's so 1985.
and
Oh,
he
yeah.
says, he goes, "It's a really nice place you got here." I'm gonna do that voice every single time.
Okay, that's fine.
But and then this is another good bit of setup. He goes, "It will be when we finish it. We have about 7 other floors of construction,
Right.
Which is great because a lot of the movie they were like, we don't want to have to put up a bunch of these sets.
Really natural exposition happening right now.
Yeah, it's really good.
not in your
The
face.
set- the
That
fact that he's
is like-
barefoot. That's the key to good
Yes,
movies. to
I
me.
agree. That's like the best part of 80s movies.
Set them up, knock them
It's
down.
almost notoriously 80s and 90s
Totally.
movies. It gets worse towards the end of the 90s.
Yeah, because now it's like, we got to get the Allsparks to the planet of swords.
What do you mean all of the alien race became extinct in 20 years ago and
Yeah.
like, all the stupid shit that's like, come on. Don't act like we're
Sam.
stupid.
Yeah.
Sam,
This thing that you can't
bugs, Sam. Wiki.
and like that they're trying to get a mineral that cannot be obtained called unobtainium.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my
Oh, yeah.
face.
Stupid, stupid, stupid,
Anyway,
Movies are so good.
that's a
now.
movie we'll do at a different time.
stupid. Did this party look fun?
No.
I thought I was drunk.
I couldn't tell.
I do have something to say.
Oh, okay.
Thank God.
So
I thought she heard another pine cone.
when Shirley MacLaine came in and she was like, "Oh, go have fun. Like you're making me look like Scrooge or the Grinch or whatever." And she's like,
Oh yeah.
"Do you think this baby can handle a little bit of champagne or something like that?" I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, so like, because she says, yeah, why don't you go have some champagne, enjoy the party? And then she stands up, her assistant stands up, and you realize she's like, 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Very.
yeah, and that's when she asks that. And I mean, I guess back then, like, couldn't you even smoke and have be pregnant?
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah,
shit was
probably.
wild back then.
But I couldn't tell because the
California.
party scene is like
California.
California. But I couldn't tell because it was like going back and forth. It was like the Chinese boss or Japanese boss guy, Takanaki. What's his name?
It's Mitsubishi.
No, it's
No.
Hiroshima.
Takanawi.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan was like,
Oh my god, no, we
was,
can't. Okay, that's extremely
Saganaga.
offensive. Wait, is it the same name
Nagasaki.
as the tower?
No, I noticed that it was
Okay.
not the same name as the tower because
Okay.
he's just like overseeing this.
He's
It
the
is a
vice-
Japanese company.
President.
Okay, whatever. The
Trisha
boss man.
Takanawa's husband.
Trisha Takanawa's husband, Mr. Takanawa.
He's
was,
Mr. Shiitake.
Shiitake was he's like a square. He's like when they busted on the guy doing cocaine. He's like you could tell he's kind of like, look at this. He's kind of like, oh,
He's
God,
embarrassed
what is this guy
almost.
do? He's embarrassed.
Especially because Bruce Willis is a cop.
Yeah, but so and you see office people kind of in the background, but then there's also like a guy doing blow, like super obviously. There's a couple
Not
bursting
even on
in,
his desk.
There's a couple bursting into
Yes.
Miss Gennaro's office that are like, and they're like, oh, like a high school party. They're
Looking,
like, oh, sorry,
looking to bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like half orgy, half business party.
Here's the thing.
Which is how I like it.
If I was 20 years younger, if I was 8, no, but like I guess 10 years ago, I would have fun at this party because I would be like, "This is wild, you guys! Let's get drunk! Woo! Let's do shots!" and be super irritating. But I can't imagine being a businesswoman
Yeah.
in a place that is my career and being that way about a party
No.
at
Right.
work with my workmates.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, what's the vibe here? I can't tell what kind of like
It's fucking
office
crazy.
energy they have going on.
I don't understand either because that cokehead Mick Cokerson
Yeah.
is such a flirt too with his boss.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's gross.
She's over him.
Yeah.
Boss
He wants her to
wife?
be
Yeah.
under.
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah.
So sorry. So that's when the terrorists have arrived and they show up, and that's when they put 800 rounds on the
Yeah.
ceiling, and they take chainsaws to wires. They start cutting
Yeah.
everything. Well, why did that guy panic?
Because he was trying. Okay, so if you cut the wires before a certain point, I'm
An
assuming
alarm or something
something
would
would
go off?
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why he was doing something like tediously with
Yeah.
the wires, clipping them off,
the guy
and
was
you
like,
know
"Too
diverting
long."
them, and he just goes, "Nah, fuck it."
Yeah, because
And
he
he's
was like,
doing
"I
them
broke it," and then the guy goes,
right.
and he literally is looking at him going, 9, 9, 9, 9, and the guy's just
Yeah.
Yep.
chopping away. I was like,
It's weird
aren't you
too.
invested in making this work too, guy?
Yeah,
It was also weird to me that like they were in tubes, like plumbing. I thought it was gonna be like water. Weren't
Oh.
they? It was weird. I didn't
Oh,
know
that makes sense.
wires
That is
were
conduit.
housed like that.
it's
That is
conduit, which
Oh.
is what electrical wires are run through.
Okay, never mind.
There you go.
Let's just rewind a little.
It's a solid movie.
We edited that out. Yeah. So where he
So
cuts all the
he-
wires.
He
Go ahead.
hears all the stuff going on.
Yep.
He looks out the door. Then he spots. You see him looking over at the exit door to the stairwell. He goes in there and he runs up top to like an unfinished floor.
Yes. which they previously set up masterfully.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And
Not
he
too much?
was like talking to himself, and I think isn't that when he pulls the fire alarm?
Yeah.
Because that was
Right.
pretty early on.
He saw the
remember.
sprinkler. He
then
saw the
cops
sprinkler
come.
from.
He was like,
yeah.
what can I do? Like, there's no phone lines.
Oh, so that's why the fire department was coming or whatever?
And then they all just did
Okay.
U-turns.
Well,
yeah.
Okay,
what was
so
that?
I needed. Okay, so what happened was like he pulled it, but then the person who was manning the front desk saw that the fire alarm was being set off. I guess there's a monitoring system.
Yeah.
So he phoned Hans Gruber, or he radioed him, and was like, "This is happening." And Hans Gruber said to call 911, and then all I heard was, "Turn around."
Oh, so I guess he told them.
I forget what
it
he
was
said.
It was a false alarm.
Yeah.
They can turn around. We're
okay.
safe here.
Okay.
They can just do that.
I don't think they would send 4 either.
Yeah, there was a lot.
It's overkill.
Yeah, that's true. They had them all. It's like we're already there.
It's a slow
We
night.
can make
Might as well
it.
check it out.
Yeah, and then Bruce Willis says like, "I'll fuck your Dalmatian. Come on."
Yeah.
What did he
has
say?
that weird line of "kiss your Dalmatian" or something like that.
He probably said kiss.
He
Yeah, I think
keeps-
you're right.
He keeps saying like, "Come on, baby, yeah, baby, come to." Does he say "come to daddy"? Maybe not, but he does say.
I think we were just
Come to
both
Diddy.
imagining.
I think we were both
we were
just
fantasizing.
hot,
You watched
and
the
we were
porn-
like, "Yes, daddy."
Yeah,
You watched the Pornhub version, which was Die Hard.
Her.
it was Guy Hard.
Guy Hard. That's a good porn name.
Yeah.
That would be mine if I.
It
No,
was
let's-
clit hard.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Made this podcast so explicit. It was fine before.
So I think because there were so many different action scenes, I think this is when they were able to tell what floor he was on, and they sent that guy up.
Yes.
That's when the first fight happens.
And that's when the murder happens.
yeah.
Right. But when they first get into the fight, Bruce Willis has a gun in his hand, okay? And they're pointing the guns at each other and like, you drop it. No, you drop
It's
it.
the Spider-Man meme.
Then they get into a fisticuff fight. And Bruce Willis, I don't know if this was just like, hey, you have to lose your gun to make this more entertaining.
Oh, 'cause
he
he
literally
throws
the gun behind him.
I noticed that shit too.
Oh man, I did not.
Yeah, he like went to go get in the tussle with him and just throws the gun
Chucks it.
away.
Well, but it's what it's supposed to be because they get into a tussle and the big German guy pushes him up against like a wall, but his arm doesn't extend all the way along the wall. There's like an empty space over
Yeah.
here, so it's supposed to be the force knocks it out of his hand.
Oh, but it just is
it's
obvious that-
obvious that Bruce Willis just goes like he might as well have just turned around and
he
threw it.
wound up.
Yeah,
He wound up and
Yeah,
tossed it backwards.
yeah.
Like
I
I
noticed
said.
that too.
Not a great actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was just like, I'd rather be playing harmonica.
Rather be in a blues
California.
band. California.
So he kills that guy, elevator down,
Ho ho ho.
panic from everyone.
Yeah, people
Because-
screaming.
Is this great that we
People-
keep recapping?
The customers can
Yes.
see it.
The customers,
That's what I picture.
the
The party
employees
goers.
can see in the elevator and they're like, keep everybody back.
They're going ape shit.
Everyone's immediately sober.
hmm And so he was on top of the elevator too, right?
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah, so he
watching
was
through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
And-
he, at the nick of time, got down so he
What?
wouldn't be crushed like an
I
Yeah.
thought you were trying to say nicotine, and I'm like, that's not
Oh, I
right.
thought she said something else.
Wow. You
I thought
guys
you said it was
are
nibba
addicts.
time.
So, but that's where he finds out the guy's brother's name is
Got
Carl.
Nippley out here. Nipple? Did I say nipple? Sorry.
So he
Coming up next.
He on the radio he says, "Call Carl, tell him his brother's dead." And then so he
That was
goes,
a good impression.
Carl. So he writes Carl on his arm.
Yeah, yeah,
Because he's
yeah.
writing down their names.
Another great
Right.
detail.
for
Yes.
later.
Yeah, he has the amount. He has tallies like for
Yep.
the amount of terrorists. That
Germans
are there.
killed 1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then he has
Yeah.
names and they're crossed out.
It's very death campy.
Yeah,
Yes.
he has. He also gets. He gets a lot of good gear from this guy. He gets the walkie-talkie.
yeah.
He gets
The machine
a,
gun.
a
SMG.
machine gun. Yeah.
Lighter.
The lighter
And cigarettes.
classic lighter,
Infamous.
and some cigarettes. Which the cigarettes is also fucking awesome because it's like a way to measure time throughout the movie.
True.
It keeps cutting to his cigarette pack, and you see kind of just how many cigarettes down he is.
Although, if you're really stressed out, I feel like you could go through a pack pretty quickly.
Oh, I would have
Yep.
smoked all 4 of them.
Yep.
Like,
Like,
at the
it's
same
not like
time.
he's like 2 hours later, like, time for another one.
But-
He's probably smoking like 3 an hour at least.
yeah, this is how you can. I was like, or he's not being cautious enough because I would be like, they could just sniff him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
They
yeah.
would just find where he
Although,
is.
like, yeah, because the windows weren't open, right?
It would have been cool if he
Okay.
It would have been cool if he used a cigarette as bait at one point.
Yeah.
To lure a guy in. That would have been
That would have been
awesome.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because instead he uses like a saw, which the guy. That scene pissed me off a little bit because
The ghost
Yeah.
that was running the saw.
well, first of all, because he was behind the thing that
Yes.
the guy thought he was. It showed, and it's a slow pan up. you could see if Bruce Willis moved from either side, unless he originally hid behind a different one. But it definitely didn't look like it. He definitely didn't run all the way to the other side of the floor.
Mm-hmm. You hear his naked feet patting on the
Yes.
Anyway, so that he kills the first terrorist. Also died by breaking his neck. Pretty simply. It was funny when he rolls down the stairs. It's like they get into this like struggle, and it's like, oh, trip, and they added in post a guy going when his neck broke.
Wait, was it that famous scream?
No, it wasn't the wind. Let me put a timestamp right there. So we can actually take a break, and maybe I can edit that down.
Scream note.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will be right back, and hopefully we'll make it past the first.
Yep.
You know how we
quarter
do.
of the movie.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back.
Bye.
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 Film.
And we're back.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Ooh, what's this?
Okay, so Ariel, what the fuck?
It's a microphone.
So yeah, let's jump ahead a little bit.
Casey, get off of social media.
She's literally sitting here on Facebook, just like, nah, I'm done with it.
Okay,
So he flies down the stairs, breaks the neck. There's the infamous scream that will not happen again.
Wait, the one that I'm just kidding.
That one.
Just kidding, you guys.
So then obviously, so he gets some good stuff off of him, and then so it moves on to he's now becoming the hunter, where he's like letting them come to him, and he's.
But this first whole half is kind of it's building tension because it's like he's worried about getting the message out to police.
Yes.
First.
Meanwhile,
and so he like runs up on the roof and.
Sorry, but we haven't talked at all about what Professor Snape's doing during this time.
Okay.
He's terrorizing.
Yeah, but
You
like
really
he
don't
killed Jackie Chan.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know what I
and
mean?
Bruce Willis sees that. That's when he starts going like, "Oh shit,
This is real.
yeah." That's when he runs up. He goes, "Yeah, you'd be dead too, asshole."
Because he tries to hide from him and then like hits the table with his head, so they check.
Oh yeah.
Not very well.
And then there are like, someone else is here.
Yeah.
So
It's probably a security guard.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get like a computer code.
Yeah, he's trying to get into the safe.
Yeah.
The vault?
So he was like, as soon as I tell you that it's going to flag Japan, the Japan office, not the nation of Japan.
The government.
The government of Japan. It's going to flag the Japan office, and they're going to change everything before you can even get into all this stuff. And he goes, I don't want to get into the computer. I want to get in the vault that has all the code, blah, 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 bonds or whatever. He wants the bonds for the money that's in the vault, which
He wants some data.
he doesn't want in the computer. He wants in the vault.
Yes.
So that's where the confusion from there was.
Yeah. And then so he's like, fuck, I'm in over my head. McClane is. And so he's trying to get to the cops. So he runs to the roof and he's like, he has the walkie-talkie and he tries to like broadcast onto a channel.
Yeah.
And this fucking cunt.
Oh,
little
God.
bitchy poo.
There's no way. There's no, frankly, there's no way the police officer
That's right.
She should be
New
fucking
Donald Trump.
fired.
immediately.
yeah.
He's like, listen, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Go send the police down here. Come arrest me. Fuck, they're shooting at me.
What
she
is
literally,
the channel?
She
9.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, what is
She was like,
it?
sir, this is
She
a
said
private
emergency.
emergency channel. Call
For
911
who?
if you have emergencies.
This is an emergency channel. Call 911 for
Yeah,
emergencies.
it's like for police only. It's
Okay.
a private channel
Okay.
for
It's what
police
they
only.
use
Couldn't
for.
he have been like, here's my police badge number? I am a cop.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not
See,
sure.
But then even when she hears the gunshots and she's
That's
like,
what
oh,
I'm
my
saying.
fucking
The
ears.
gunshot is so loud that she goes, ooh,
Damn.
that hurt my ears.
Fireworks on
love-
Christmas Eve? What the H?
Ryan and I both just took off our headphones to mimic her.
Because that comes across
Right.
in a podcast.
You can hear
But,
the shuffling.
She goes, can we send a black and white out there to do a drive-by?
You know, that's
Yes.
slang for a cop.
Yeah.
What? I've never heard of that.
Yeah. And then this
What are
is
the other colors?
right. And then this is when we get introduced to not Carl,
Right.
Al.
Al.
Yes.
My guy.
Yes.
Who is currently buying
Donuts.
donuts.
A lot.
Yeah, and
For
he
his
says,
wife.
For his pregnant wife.
Well, why does the gas station guy not believe him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's a
Okay.
fat cop that only eats donuts. That's why.
He
it's
joked
a,
with
it's
him.
a thing.
He
Yeah.
joked with him and was like, "I thought you guys like donuts, right?" Was he getting donuts or was he getting some other kind of sweet treat?
Yeah, I thought he must have been getting something else.
Pastries.
Something
Something like
similar.
apple
Yeah,
some
something
other-
similar.
yeah.
Okay.
Because he was like, I thought you only ate. By the way,
Donuts, right.
and he knows later on he's talking to McLean and he's like, what the hell's in this stuff? And he's like, yellow dye number 5, blah blah blah.
'Cause
And
he
like,
loves donuts.
knows all
He-
of the chemical ingredients.
because he does love donuts.
Yeah, so I thought that was hilarious. So he is that guy.
Tries to say that it's like for his super pregnant wife, and the guy's like, "Okay," not believing him at all. And then I could have sworn he said,
Oh, Ariel was like shocked because he goes, okay, or he says, okay, bag it. And Ariel went, what did he call
but
him?
he was just like,
Yeah.
"Okay,
Oh, yeah.
faggot."
That's
was
what
like,
I thought too.
Yeah.
He's racy. Like you
Yeah.
can't say
Well, it's
that.
the 80s, guys. Come on, chill out.
That's true. Like when we watched
California.
Heathers, that was
California.
80s, and that was all about the F-bomb.
Yes. So then he goes and puts the bag in his car. He's about to get in, and then he goes, "Let me just peek around the corner right here."
Well, he gets the call first.
Yes.
Why would he go there if he didn't
He
get
gets
a
the
call?
call.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that. Sorry.
Well, I don't think I said it, but it's
It's for the fans, Jesse.
he gets a call over his CB radio that's attached to his shoulder on his left shoulder.
Niner. We'll
and
need some backup.
right, they're like, "Can you go check out Nakatomi Plaza?
Hey,
Something's
black
going
and white,
on."
can you check it out?
Hey, Black.
And he's like, "Okay, black, on it." And then
I'm on it, white.
yeah, and that's classic from Zach and Miri Make a Porno. Another movie, good. So then he
We'll see.
looks around the corner and sees the building. And goes, "Well, nothing looks crazy, but I guess I'll go drive very slowly by."
yeah.
So then he
'Cause you can
goes.
tell by
You can tell by looking. You know,
Out
it's
the
a
outside.
400-story building that there definitely is not anything
Which
going
Jesse
on.
said, looking at that distance, that you could definitely probably hear the machine guns.
Yeah,
I can't.
they were
a good
shooting like
question.
on the roof out in the open. They're shooting.
Well, there's a moment where they say it's on the 30th floor. So you imagine 30 floors is like, that's like a big hotel. I feel like if someone was in their hotel room shooting a gun at the top of I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
I was more about the gunfights that were happening on the roof by the helipad.
Yeah.
Where he was
But even
hiding
then-
behind open railings.
Like maybe a
and they were still
neighbor would
missing.
hear. Like maybe
Somebody would
close
probably.
condo
The
would
problem
be
is
concerned.
it's Christmas and everybody is evacuated.
Oh,
They're all in Iowa visiting.
Oh,
their
you're totally
family.
right.
You
That's
know what I mean?
California.
Yep.
It's
California.
Yep.
I did have a note speaking when you said they kept missing him. I said, these German guys shoot like me in Fortnite terribly.
There you go. Fortnite reference.
They were
Quick
awful.
plug.
Trying to stay relevant.
We're young.
Yeah.
What I love and am scared of. Okay, there's nothing. I don't think of all the languages that you can hear. Yelling in German is
Yeah.
probably
Oh,
the
it's
scariest
Yep.
Frightening.
sounding thing. I wonder if it's like yelling in English is like that to people who don't speak English.
I
Because
don't
to
know.
me, it's not. you know?
German is a very angry language.
Yeah, like
it's
how
an
they say
angerage.
"I love you" is.
Yeah, even when they say that.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm
See,
saying.
that might not be accurate, so don't, you know.
Oh, you
But
might
it-
have said
Don't come for
something
me.
really
Close.
fucked up.
Yep. We'll translate that later.
You just denied the Holocaust.
Well, they'd be on my side about that, I think.
That's probably true. It's like, no, she said it right. Everything was fine.
World War what?
So yeah, like I said, German is a very aggressive language. So any just normal sentence sounds aggressive.
Yeah,
You
like-
just add a little bit of volume and grit to your voice. You could be saying anything in an evil way.
Except, okay, the thing is about like doing an impression of a German. I used to think it was like aggressive, like how they're talking, but then I heard someone do it, and it's more like, "Yes, I love the beer," and I was like, "Oh my god, that's hilarious!" Like it was
Yeah.
all do one because you can do it better, right?
Well, you're German people are only showcased as bad guys in media. You never see what real German people are like, and they're usually tall, heavy-set people who, for some reason, love Disney
That's true.
and
and-
Oktoberfest.
and Oktoberfest, and they're like about like stupid like Lederhosen and Schnitzel.
Lederhosen.
Yeah, so they're not actually that.
They're not evil.
Yeah,
I think
they're not.
Def
They're more
Leppard
goofy,
tried to
honestly.
bring that caveat down by the at the beginning of the song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just like
I think
the
that would
Germans
be
are like
more
this. I
accurate.
promise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be more accurate.
We are not evil.
But enough about those Germans. Let's
talk about these Germans.
yes.
Yeah, because these guys are evil. But like the thing, I guess, was my point is that they don't sound like the way you imagine Germans typically.
Right.
Well, that's because
A+ work.
these guys
Some
are
of them
like,
might be Swedish.
Yeah, we don't know.
God.
They're all
Finnish.
Slavic.
I
Though.
need to see IDs, people.
I mean, they were like stud muffins.
Mhm.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen a good-looking group of terrorists.
They were all Gap models.
Yeah.
Long, like Farrah Fawcett hair.
Yes, so luxurious. Definitely soft.
Yeah.
But so
Carl.
we get Carl, and he's like, all right, there's a guard in there. I'm gonna check out the lobby. So he goes in, and the guy's like,
The intruder.
I thought that was hilarious because I was like, oh, it's a bunch of European terrorists, and then this guy's like, oh, Hans, we got a cop outside, and I was like, where's this dude from? What is this about?
Not California.
How did he hook up with these guys? Right?
He's
yeah,
from Bama.
It's not even like he was a local guy.
No.
But I think they literally
Maybe
got
he's
him
from South Germany.
They got him there to be like, this bumbling idiot couldn't possibly be behind anything. He's like, damn, I had $50 bet on this game.
Yeah, like I was thinking too, whenever he was pictured, I was like, this guy has the cushiest part of this. Like, how much of a
Yeah.
cut is he getting?
Yeah.
Sign me up for that role.
Probably the
Good
biggest
question.
cut because he has to distract the people that come in the front door. That's the whole reason
he
he's
doesn't
there.
even do a good job. He's just like, yeah, you can look around. Like, he doesn't even try.
Yeah, what are you supposed to say? No.
I don't know.
Don't just, you can look around, just don't take the elevators up or
Yeah.
don't look in this door.
By the way, but he.
I don't know, but like,
So his way of going, you mind if I look around? This is impossible. Because he goes, yeah, do whatever you want. And he's getting nervous. And so Al walks down to the elevators and takes 5 steps towards the elevators, and there's a guy hiding behind the corner, like
he
with a
going
gun
to
ready.
kill him?
Yes, he's ready to kill
he's
him if
ready.
he has to.
Okay.
So and he goes, man, screw this, and turns around.
Yeah.
That would be like if I were in his shoes and I was like, man, what am I doing? Like,
If
this is
you were
obviously
a
good.
cop.
If I was Al and I was like, if I had, it would be filled with so much anxiety after going, do you mind if I take a look around? And then him knowing that I punked out so quickly, like I'm so
Yeah,
lazy.
you have to at least
I would
spend
have
10
sat
minutes.
in the hallway for a minute and just been like, just
All
so
right,
he
I
thought
checked
did
everything
something.
out.
Yeah, because from the guy's perspective, he was like, you mind if I check anything out? Walked around the corner, turned right back around.
Yeah.
all good, bro.
Yeah.
How'd you check all 30 floors? And
Yeah, this is a humongous skyscraper.
Yeah.
I did also love when he first pulls up, he's like doing the wraparound out front, and Bruce Willis looking over the edge like, yeah, come on. And then he just keeps like kind of driving weird, and then he goes, what, Stevie Wonder driving this car?
yeah.
That's pretty good.
Come on. And then he's like, just because he's driving very weird around this thing, and then he finally stops and goes in and checks. And then we get all that
Yeah.
stuff.
The
that happened.
greatest part about this is when the cop goes to leave.
Yes.
Because Bruce Willis is like fed up. He's like, he's getting pissed off, and he's like smashing the window with a chair, and he breaks it like the Cybertruck window.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like about to leave, so he goes, all right, you know what? Throws a fucking dead body
A corpse,
Mm-hmm.
people.
from whatever floor he's on. It crashes on his car. It is hilarious. He just immediately is, what the fuck? Throws it in reverse.
Jesus H. Christ.
Yeah, and then his car is all just immediately getting shot at. It goes from 0 to 100 immediately.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, and he backs up maybe a little too far.
Oh yeah.
He went
Yeah.
about 4 streets over and backed off the edge of a bridge.
I feel like I would be inclined to do the same thing because they were still actively shooting at him.
Yeah, honestly,
So
it
what's
was better
crazy
cover.
is like through the streets they were still shooting and no one else was like, let me just call the police.
Yeah, the police didn't get an influx of calls.
California.
It was just like him going,
California.
hey, please help me. God, I'm getting fired out here.
Where's the damn backup?
Was the building in Compton or what?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're just used to
They're like,
gunshots.
nah, that's
what
just
it is.
normal.
Compton
Yeah.
police are like, hey, it's Thursday.
See that cop car on fire with a dead body on it, driving through the street? It's Thursday.
California.
John McClane has no respect for the dead.
No,
He
none at
fucks
all.
with
He
them.
manipulates
He
their
plays
bodies.
games with them like a fucking serial killer. It's dark.
So,
Well, he did write "help" in blood on a sweatshirt before he threw it down, and I'm totally kidding on that. But
yeah, he
just
was
to go
throwing
back,
like sweaters
Yeah.
down. And they were just going,
different notes.
fuck, they didn't land where he wanted them to.
Do you like me? Yes or no?
Send help check, yes or no?
Oh,
So that's when now the tensions are rising. Hans is now aware of
Yes.
of McClane
Because he can hear him.
Yeah, he's picking up on the radio, which is also great because they're having their back and forth. So
And
so
he can hear. John can hear
it's
that.
it's cool because you get Al and Bruce Willis who are in love with each other.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
So-
They are
Soulmates.
immediately soulmates.
they
and
can't
they're-
wait to get off this building to to be friends.
Yeah, but what I don't know, like, while they're talking, he's like, "You got any kids?" And he's like, "Actually, me and my wife working on it first right now." And it's like Hans Gruber can hear all of this, and he never is even like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Like, he just lets them have these moments and communicate with like I would be like, "Baba boy, Howard Stern's penis," or something.
I
like
think
interrupt
that it's
it.
different channels.
But how did they? That's what I didn't understand about this. They're all communicating with each other over these
CB radios.
Yes, over the radio. Okay. And then Bruce Willis switches the channel to talk to the police on the emergency line, which you can access from just a very general handheld radio. But somehow they also hear it on a different channel. How did that happen? How is Hans Gruber also hearing?
When I worked at a place that we used radios to communicate with other staffers, you could put it on a channel where it would ping to whatever channel was being active at the time.
Like scan. You put on like a scan thing.
So that is probably what it was.
Interesting.
Oh man, I miss using radios.
I know.
Let's get some. Can we get some?
We should do this whole podcast via radio.
Yes.
FOB.
Fall Out Boy.
But that is as far like as a plot device, it's really cool.
Yes,
Really good.
I love
and
that.
I think it's kind of timeless because people are still using CB radios, and it's almost 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Like
but
that
it's-
hasn't really advanced to the point of extinction.
No.
You know, so it's
Yeah.
not like dated. Like if they use their huge blocky Nokia phones,
Yeah.
we would all
brick
be
phone.
laughing, and it'd be hard to take it seriously.
The but it's that would even be worse because then you wouldn't have the element of because they have to limit what they can say
You're
because
right. Yeah.
Hans at any moment could be listening in.
You know what would be funny is if they had to use if we watched a movie that took place during the time where those phones that were radios were popular.
The
You know
next
what I'm talking
telephones?
about? Yeah, where it
Yeah.
would like you would say something and they're gonna go like just get a radio walkie-talkie. It's basically what it was.
No, I miss that. I'm a big
You had
advocate of
one?
that. Yeah, I'm a big advocate of those.
Oh, okay.
They rule.
They rule.
Yeah.
Gay. I think they're stupid.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that. Yeah.
So he is also the only cop. So he is equal parts like a lazy donut eating cop who's like, he sucks at checking lobbies out, but then he is the only cop with any decent intuition.
He has integrity too.
Yeah. And he's like,
He doesn't leave him, even though his
because
shift is over.
when the his boss shows up, he's a fucking idiot, and he's like, "Oh, just send him in," and his guys are on the radio, like they try to flank around the backside, and they get shot up, and something else even happens.
Send in the car.
Okay, there was a
the
they
tank?
they sent the SEAL team to the front door,
Yeah,
and then they were like, "Wait, pull him back! It's a trap."
Yeah.
And then so because there's guys in the lobby like shooting out at those guys
Yeah.
through the windows, so they're all like wounded and everything, and then they're like, "This didn't work. Send in the truck."
yeah.
So then you see this montage of like the
Very
cyber.
slow
It looks
moving.
like a cyber truck.
Yep.
It does.
Driving up to the front, and it starts climbing the front steps of the building
Very cool.
and gets
Yeah.
stuck.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Was that guns?
So
oh my god. Okay, we're
Right.
alive.
We've
Yep.
decided it wasn't guns.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Why does every
time
episode?
we
Yeah.
record, we're in
No.
constant fucking danger.
it's either ghosts or murderers.
So keep in mind, we're in
Detached garage.
yeah, we're in a very scary situation. So go ahead and give us 5 stars.
5 stars.
And I feel like we can just say that for every episode now because
Yeah.
there's going to be something happening for everyone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Only gonna get spookier from here.
So Cybertruck drives up the front steps of the building.
Yes.
An RPG comes out of one of the mid-story windows and just lights the truck up. It
Yes.
explodes on the front
So
step.
expensive.
Yeah, they have missiles.
Yes, which we saw them.
Anti-tank
We saw them
missiles.
pulling them in the beginning. Like
Yes.
Bruce Willis saw them pulling them in, and they're like, "Well, this is obviously way out of my pay grade," even though he's not
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
At work.
But they were obviously planning on this because I know at one part Hans even says like, "It's okay. These are just like the police. We want the FBI to show up.
Right.
Like we want them to show
It
up."
all worked according to his plan, except for McClane.
Right. McClane was the wrench.
Yep, that was the
Yeah.
only thing that screwed it up. That's what he's even like. I'm a pain in the ass.
It's just how I am in California.
Yep. It really does something to
That
me.
was fucking crazy, though. I was like, they have anti-tank missiles and shit, and it's for $600 million. Is
They
what
came
it
over.
comes out to be.
Sorry, they came over from Germany on an airplane with this.
They maybe procured it from the Sons of Anarchy
Yeah, must
Yeah.
be.
when they got here.
Jax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riding through this town.
Which, how much did they spend on these weapons?
I know, it's because you got to factor in the cost of explosives.
Yeah.
All of that jazz.
And his fancy suits. He
his
makes
suits,
a comment that
his
he has.
guns. I mean, they're getting out of there with like $2 million.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
everything's being spent on
Yeah,
artillery.
yeah.
Which, if you didn't do this, you could have just kept the money and not have to worry about all this.
Yeah.
Right. But
Because not only did they light up that car once,
They're like, hit it again.
but
for good
twice.
measure.
yeah, because Bruce Willis is even like, you made your point, Hans. Let him back out.
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
No.
Can't do that.
Can't do that, Mr. McLean.
So then that's when they're like, maybe we're in over our head.
Yeah, well, that's what, but it's even right before that, Bruce Willis is like, fuck, I gotta help these guys out, and he earlier had procured a C4 explosive brick.
Yep.
And he sticks a detonator in it and drops it down the elevator shaft, and it's the biggest explosion.
Oh, yeah.
ever. It's bigger than the RPG explosion.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
times 20.
Yeah,
Hey.
it's like 9/11.
Yeah.
If you ever played Battlefield Bad Company 2, you know C4 does some damage.
Yeah, that's the real deal.
That's the real deal.
It sends a flaming fireball all the way up the shaft.
Yes.
He's 30 floors up, I guess.
Yeah. I think
And
he's
it
on the
blows out all
32nd
the
floor.
windows on that floor. It seems like he could have killed all of the hostages.
Yes.
That's
he's
true.
obviously not super used to using that stuff.
Not a
Yeah.
scientist.
Because he even goes, "Holy shit!" He's looking down at
Yeah, because he's staring at it as the flames are climbing, and he goes, "Uh oh, uh oh, uh oh."
He had enough time.
Uh oh.
I'm still good. I'm still good. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
14, 15,
So that was
16.
crazy.
Damn it. Oh, 20, 21. He's just counting all the floors of it flying up, and then he finally jumps and it blows him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I love a good explosion that
Yeah,
they blow.
I love a good blow.
Blow him back.
Weird.
So obviously it just tensions keep rising and rising and rising, and the stakes get higher and higher and higher, and eventually the FBI does show up according to his plan. Mm-hmm. And thank you. And Ariel
grabbing a
just
hair
grabbed
off
a hair
your
off
body.
of me. Yeah. And then Hans is like, everything is going according to plan, because he needs the FBI to cut the power from another location to get past the 7th lock
Right.
of this vault. Sounds really convoluted, but they kind of do a good job kind of setting it up. They're
Doesn't
like,
yeah, it doesn't seem far fetched when you're in it.
yeah, the smart tech guy is doing his part for the first 6, and then Hans is already pre-planned for everything else to go through, and it works like a charm. And these FBI guys, it's hilarious how the beat cop is the only one going, hey, we have a guy on the inside, like, let's listen to what's going on. He threw a terrorist out of the window. Like,
Yeah,
maybe
he's
we
on our
should
side.
hear it out. Let's try it.
Maybe.
A little, just for a second.
But then the idiot is like, well, how do you know he's just not some delusional? How do you know he's not part of it?
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't believe that he's not. How did he just randomly get in there?
Right,
And he's
right.
not a part of what they are.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a reasonable thought.
Sure.
Except that there are civilians in there.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like it'd be not out of the realm of possibilities for one of the civilians to be a cop.
Right.
And it seems like after he sent his guys in, like there's literally a part where they're on the radio just going, like all his cops are
They
screaming.
push the button so they can
Yeah, they're all on their walkies just going, my leg.
Yeah.
And he's just like, ooh, he kind of fucked up here. And an explosion goes off to stop the RPGs from blowing up the Cybertruck. So you think you would go, okay, maybe this guy
Maybe
is
he's
on our
trying to
side.
help, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't happen, and the FBI show up and they make the same mistake this guy's been making, and all he
Except
cares
in a
about,
cockier fashion.
Yes.
in a crazy fashion. These guys were like
Not
cowboys.
Like, yeah, they were not like the X-Files at all.
They're literally there's a part where because Hans Gruber calls for a helicopter as part of like the ransom, and they're flying through the city so low to the ground and so fast, just making like 90-degree turns.
No big deal. Everyone's in Iowa.
One of the FBI agents is in the thing holding like a hunting rifle, and he's like, "It's just like Saigon!" Woo!
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, "Oh my god, these guys are crazy!" And the other guy's like, "I was 10, you asshole!" Like they're not taking it seriously at all.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be like the big Fed guys.
Yeah,
I don't know. That was funny.
that was funny.
And so, I don't know, man. Just action.
Action-packed.
It kind of runs together.
It does.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe. This is the quintessential air duct movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So when does that happen?
Kind of
Right now?
weaving in and out of
Well,
what I just described. I just jumped ahead a lot.
He was running from Carl, not cop Carl Weathers from
Very
Family
confusing.
Matters. He was running from the terrorist, and he was hanging over the edge of an elevator shaft. And he was because he had the gun with the strap on it, so he fashioned it and wedged it in a.
It's a multi-tool. This
Yes.
gun.
So then he pulls the strap down and he's like trying to get down. I don't know where he's trying to get to because it's a shaft. But then so he jumps after the gun jars loose and just with the fingertips on an air duct that he then crawls himself into.
He pulls himself up
Yes.
into
Yeah.
it.
That's some like crazy finger strength.
Yes. But that's what we're talking about. Those aren't glamour muscles.
He's the package.
He's the package.
Yeah.
So then he climbs himself into there, and then he lights up the lighter on the inside of the vent.
Yep.
And then the terrorists look down, and you can see the air vent is lit up.
Yeah.
So now
Good
they
job.
know
He's in
in the air vent.
Yeah.
Kind of like really like immediately. As soon as he's in there, they know he's in there.
Yeah. And he jumps in there, and his tank top is still white.
White.
And then the next time you see him,
He's covered in
black.
soot.
Totally
Yeah.
black.
Like he climbed down a chimney.
Yeah.
Even though that air duct was mirrored, so it was like chrome.
Mhm.
It
and
was
you could
spotless
see,
inside.
you could see any speck of dust that would be in there.
Yeah.
Unrealistic.
I was shitting my pants when he comes down underneath the duct that he's laying in, and he's like
Poking up
he's
on
pushing
it.
the gun up
oh
on
yeah,
each
my
panel.
butthole is tight.
Yeah.
Each panel he's pushing up, and I don't know. I don't know what his plan was to have that not like give away his position, because he's just laying there, and then he like pulls out his gun. I guess to shoot him if he
I guess
hits the right vent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Totally.
Watching
It was
the
really good
just the
suspense.
slow
Mhm.
panel push,
Mhm.
and then he gets called away, obviously. So McClane could clearly see the terrorist through the vent, but he could not clearly see him through the vent
Right.
to the
Because of the
grate
angle.
in the vent. So he gets called away, obviously. So then Bruce Willis goes, "Oh, thank God!" Right, and then what the heck happened after that?
It's
This
kinda
is
hard
where
to
I was. This
remember.
is where I was fading in and out
Fuzzy.
of. It was late night watching.
Well, it really is kind of just a bunch of like, there's Cop and Bruce Willis love
Yeah.
going on. They're building their connection. It's a big reveal that Al, I so want to say Carl.
Yes.
It sucks. Al, he's like, I never like. This is what I'm saying. Like they're having these
Intimate
serious,
chats.
intimate conversations. This is the first day they've met. They've known each other for 2 hours via walkie-talkie exclusively.
Yep.
And he's like, I haven't pulled my gun out since I first started. They can teach you everything about being a cop except how to deal with living with a mistake. And I'm like, whoa, like this is heavy stuff. It turns out he shot a kid, which ends
Yeah.
up paying off. This is another great example.
It
Setup-
paid off.
It does. It does. At least the setup does. They set it up and they knock it down. They use every part of the buffalo. This is
Yes.
that good shit. But so there's a lot of that going on.
Oh,
there's
let's,
more action scenes. There's a bit where Hans is going to the roof and he's trying to set something up. I can't remember. And he sets his gun down. And then
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like he turns around and then hops off this little ledge thing and sees the bare feet. He sees Bruce Willis's bare feet, and it's Bruce Willis, and he's like, "Ha, gotcha." And so Hans geniusly goes, "Oh man, you're one of them, aren't you?"
Puts
and
on a
tries to
great
dis-
American
to
accent.
pretend to be a
someone else.
Yeah,
It doesn't work.
because they have not seen face to face yet.
Right, but his
His voice
his
is so
throat is still so
yes,
milky.
Yeah.
Like,
How
you can
could you?
tell.
Yeah, for sure.
I was pissed off because it's been so long since I had seen it. I was like, wait, what? I forgot that happens. Because you think Bruce Willis is falling for it.
Yeah,
And then it comes to the reveal is he hands him a gun.
That wasn't
and
loaded.
he's like, you
Not
ready?
loaded.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
my name is Clay. Like,
Which is
straining
cool
his voice
because
so much.
I don't know if you noticed, but he must have seen that name on the.
Oh, yeah, they did
the
a
thing.
big
Yes.
thing showing you, like, zoom in on Clay.
yeah.
Like
So that was smart for him to choose that name. But let's talk about the reporter.
Oh, yeah.
the
Oh, the
desperate
dick.
reporter.
Fuck
Yes.
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He's a real douche nozzle.
yeah.
Yeah.
What does he do?
He exploits anything he can in order to get the information and like basically dox everyone involved.
Yeah, he's the reason that
They figured out.
The connection.
Yeah.
lady was
Because
his wife.
insofar, no, like Hans Gruber doesn't understand who John McClane is and who
Right.
he's related to. Like, so he doesn't know that his wife is in the crowd and that he could easily get him to come down and stop doing this shit
Right.
if he put a gun to her head. So since he doesn't know that, sorry, I got so distracted just now. Since he doesn't know that, he's been able to like fall under this veil of anonymity and like pull pranks on Hans Gruber's men, basically.
yeah, pranks.
Yeah,
Pranks.
hijinks.
Those life-ending pranks. Gotcha. Yeah, I like that's a big factor. They actually do a good job of just being like, the media sucks is a theme, because even like the newscasters are there. He's like the guy who wrote a book, hostage terrorist hostage, a study in duality.
Jesus.
He's like he's experiencing the Helsinki syndrome, and the guy goes
In Sweden.
the guy goes, oh, in Sweden, and he goes, what does he say?
Somebody says Finland.
No, Finland.
Because they're
he
talking
was
about
confusing it with Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm, Sweden. God.
So they do a good job of just making them seem like dorks. And he also is like, at one point, he's so excited that the bomb goes off, and he goes, did you get that?
Yeah. Did
Yeah,
you get that?
his dick is so
eat
hard.
your heart out, Channel 5.
Yeah, and like
Doesn't
when
care about people at all.
even when they like arrive at the scene, their like van is busting through everything, just totally reckless and being assholes to like try and get the latest story or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just sucks because they have no respect for the police or anything that might be like, I don't know, kind of secret.
Yeah, this movie hates authority, and it hates the media.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
And California.
And California fucking rules.
Yes.
All things that everyone should hate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fucking rules.
So the anchor goes or the reporter goes to the house of the Gennaro. Is it Holly?
Yes.
Holly.
Yeah.
They go to her house where the
Yes.
kids are, and then they're talking to like the kids about your parents are in this blah 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 blah.
He threatens the housekeeper. He's like, I'm going to call ICE, bitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
God. And like presumably this is pretty late. Like those kids are in bed, right?
Yeah,
sure.
And he says this is the last time they're ever going to be able to talk to their parents.
Yep.
And it's like, you fucking suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he also gets his comeuppance. Not
Yes, he
enough.
does.
Not enough.
Not enough.
I wish he was on a fucking
Head on a stick.
cop car. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was gonna
Head
say
on a
back
stick.
of a cop car, but okay.
So yeah, I don't want to just jump through action scene to action scene and describe.
I mean, I think we're nearing the end, basically.
we really
Yeah.
are.
It's surprising to
one-
me this movie was so long. I imagined it as 90 minutes, but
Yeah,
it's a full 2 hours.
Yeah.
But the action scenes are good.
They are good. Like
Yeah.
it
There's a lot of
sounds
cool
like,
details going on.
Yes.
Like
it sounds like they're running together, but that's not how it feels when you're watching it.
no.
Yeah.
And like there's cool stuff. The one great thing that is, I think this movie kind of, one of its claims to fame is John McClane takes damage.
Yeah.
He maintains damage throughout the whole entire movie. He is getting dirtier. He's getting more and more fucked up. He's getting
Cut
like
up.
cuts, and
Glass in
stuff.
his feet.
And the glass. That's what makes the barefoot thing so cool. Is like because there's a part where he has to tell this guy Carl to shoot the glass. He says shoot the glass because
Hans
he
Gruber
noticed
does.
Hans Gruber noticed that McClane was barefoot, and he goes shoot the glass. And so he
He'll be
gets fucked up,
trapped, right.
and then so he's in this dirty ass bathroom for a long time. That's when they're having him and the cop are having their love moment. But it's the action scenes are full of stuff like that, like awesome
Yes.
details and cool. I don't know,
Effects.
cool. Well, not even cool effects, but just like cool, like the way he uses his guns a lot of times, or like the traps he sets up.
Yeah, you're totally right. He's,
Classic
he's
good shit.
obviously a really good cop.
Right.
Maybe too good.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right. Well, so I guess let's get to the end of the movie then.
Yeah. How does it wrap
Right.
up?
So it wraps up. The hostages are all get taken to the roof because that's what he told the FBI. Because he's going to stay. He's going to blow
Hans
up.
Gruber.
Hans Gruber is going to blow up the whole building to fake his death to make it look like everybody in the building died, so that he can get away. And so McClane sees that there's a bunch of explosives on the roof and runs up there and is like, get the fuck back downstairs, and is firing his gun
Trying to
wildly
save the-
trying to get everybody down.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the FBI is flying their helicopter around and sees McClane shooting his gun in front, above a bunch of people, and they go, that's the terrorist, and they're popping shots from the helicopter at him. So this movie has started off, he's a cop who is now being fired at by the FBI on the top of a skyscraper.
On vacation.
The tensions are just, it just keeps rising.
He's been in town for 5 hours.
yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. And this is a scene that they are described in The Office.
Yeah.
So once
Plop.
he gets, Plop and Aaron are watching Die Hard, and they describe this.
Oh yeah,
scene.
because he knows every line.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, dumbest fucking shit ever. But so he gets everybody down, and he wants the FBI to know that this is a trap too. But obviously they're cowboys and they're doing whatever they want. And so he's like, I know this shit's about to blow. So he ties a fire hose to himself
Around his waist.
around his waist,
sick.
climbs onto the edge, and I swear I felt vertigo from that
Oh, yeah.
because he kind of gets up on the edge and goes, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And I seriously was like, "Whoa!"
I'm gonna fall off his couch.
yeah, because I was on the edge.
Yes.
Of glory.
And he jumps off, and right when he jumps off, the fucking roof explodes. Like, can you get any more classic action movie than
Cool
this?
guys don't look at explosions.
Yeah, but what's even better is he swings down, and then it subverts the genre. He doesn't crash through in a cool action way. He just hits the side of the building, just like, my ribs, and just gets more fucked up.
Yeah.
So he has to shoot through the window and gets in, and just more broken glass.
Does a hot breach.
Yes, but the helicopter explodes when the building explodes. So
Yes.
now a fucking helicopter, as part of the collateral damage, has crashed down to the
The
front
scene
area.
below. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So also like
There's a lot.
I don't remember how he got downstairs, but I remember he like was in the pond in like the.
yeah, because he gets in, he lands right back on the right floor. The hose was exactly the right length. And he's going through the jungle, like pond area, and he's going, holy shit, because the building is now exploding. And I don't know how he gets back downstairs. I don't know if it shows us even.
it might not show us. And then also something that we missed was that the thing with the reporter that also made him so hateable is that because he went to go talk to the kids, that's how Hans Gruber figured out that
Yes.
his wife was in the John's wife was in the
Right,
crowd.
because then you see the picture frame that's because he's in Holly's office, and you see the picture frame that's laying down, and then he flips it up and he goes, "Motherfucker!"
Right. Because, and it's actually on that floor. He doesn't go back downstairs yet. He's
That's
on the
right.
floor, and it's so cool looking. He knows Hans is on the floor, and he knows Hans has his wife. And he walks in and he goes, Hans! And he's all beat up, and he's backlit.
Dude.
And you just see a silhouette of him with the machine gun. It's awesome.
What an image. Like I
Yeah.
think I said that I want that as my Christmas tree topper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So good.
And he he goes, drop the gun, McClane, I have your wife, or whatever. So he drops the machine gun, and he has thought it out. He has a
He's
pistol.
laughing maniacally.
He has a pistol taped. So Hans says, and by the way, I missed it. I was busy, so I missed when he says yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, when does that happen?
Oh my
I
God.
missed
Did
it.
any
Before
of
this.
us know?
We were like chasing
He
our
was
baby.
standing behind a door. He was about to go through a door. He was over the radio, and he said,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It was when he. Yeah.
Over the radio, I remember that.
So he just
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
he just says it to Hans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, okay, just like as a taunt.
"Yes."
Okay.
Yeah, kind
He's
of.
like, "I'm literally about to fucking run this shit.
That's-
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!" And he
That's
backs to the
so
door.
weird
And
that
then- but
took off.
Hans
Yeah.
Gruber threw it back in his face later.
Yeah, so this
Right.
is when Hans Gruber goes,
Like
what
you
is it you
said.
said? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. And then that's what makes Bruce Willis crack up. And they're even cracking up. They're
They're
going,
both laughing.
like looking at each other like, what the fuck? And so he takes it perfect. He has 2 bullets left.
Oh,
They
so
show.
good.
And bang, right? He hits Hans like in the stomach, and he hits the other guy square between the eyes.
Did you say taped to his back?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
he has
crazy
the
part.
pistol. Yeah. So yeah, because they tell him to put his hands on his head, like he knew they were going to do that, so he can reach for the gun quickly and hit them, and it was awesome. But one of the coolest things is this: they get into a fight, I guess, with Hans Gruber, and Hans is hanging over the edge of the building.
Yeah. By Holly's watch.
Yes,
By Holly's watch.
the Rolex.
Yeah, the Rolex.
the fucking Rolex paid off.
Yes.
And this scene of him falling is like maybe one of the best reaction shots ever.
It was also really
Iconic.
well done. Like it didn't look
looks
fake or anything.
real as
Yeah.
hell.
1988.
His face, like
I was
when
gonna
you
say-
see him, like he's like you literally.
his face
shit.
goes to shock once the let go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good because
It's magic.
The sound cuts out. It drops. It's just like you just hear like violins going. It's awesome.
It
and
is
then
awesome.
they show a stunt guy from outside who must have jumped off of that actual building because he falls for like 2 straight seconds, which doesn't sound like a long time, but it is.
When you're falling.
Yeah, it's like whoa.
Yeah.
And
It
then
looked amazing.
And then you don't see.
And then they
Looked
go,
amazing.
hope that's not a hostage.
Yeah.
These guys don't care at all.
There were like little funny bits every once in a while. Like Ryan, you laughed because like one of the cops backed up to a thorn bush.
Oh my God! I think that was an accident. I think they caught. I think that was an extra they hired. There's a scene when the cops first show up and they're like, "Let's go in," and it's showing a bunch of cops go in, and there's just an innocuous cop who is walking and he passes like a thorn or like a rose bush and goes, "Ah!" and they kept it in the movie.
Yeah, it's just a brief thing. It's
Yeah.
really funny.
It's realism
Yes.
at its
Yeah.
finest.
Yes.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So after Hans falls, then they get down and it's fucking happy ending.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah. Argyle
you think it is.
saves the day.
Argyle even has his hero moment.
Yeah.
He crashes into a guy who's trying to escape in the van. Argyle is a weird character.
Yeah.
That he peppers in comic relief because he's just in the limo,
He's
just
having
like,
a party because this is his first
with
time.
a teddy bear.
This is his first time driving the limo.
He's
Yeah,
calling
yeah.
girls. He's drinking Jack Daniels.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of firsts for people. First time in California.
Yeah.
First time driving a limo.
Yeah.
Crazy shit goes on. But this is where the Al's hero moment pays off because was it Carl, the guy who got hung by the chains, who gets up out of the body bag?
I don't know. Somebody I
I
think
don't
it
know
was
any
him.
of their names.
There's a guy. Yeah,
Carl was the brother of the first guy
he's
that
the
died.
big guy with the
Long
He was the
hair.
guy with the long
Okay.
hair
Yeah,
that
because
really
he was all fucked up and bloody. He looked crazy at the
Got
very
you.
end.
Carl with a K.
So when
Yes.
they're there, they give you one more like whoa because you think it's a happy moment. He gets his wife. He's safe now. He's on the ground. And
Oh,
a guy
yeah.
stands up out of the body bag and is like, yeah!
because they didn't take his gun away when they put him in the body bag.
Yeah.
You know what? He's
hilarious.
dead. Let's just
Yeah.
bury him with it.
Loaded fucking assault rifle.
Oh,
right
guys,
there.
we only have one bag, and we have to carry all these guns out and this dead person. Just
I
put them in
know.
the same bag.
Yeah.
That is so fucking
I
stupid.
did not even put that together
And
until
also,
just now.
they didn't take a pulse either. I feel like you would check.
Yeah, how did they
Yeah.
not check? They put him in the bag immediately. They were like, look at this guy. He's
That's a
fucked
lot
up.
of blood.
To
He's
be
probably
fair,
dead.
though,
Yeah.
they found him hanging from chains, and he was there for the second half of the movie.
Uh-huh.
So,
That's a strong neck.
yeah, he looked like he had a good neck.
He did.
Yes.
Very thick. Very Gaston-y.
So then Al pulls out his police-issued .357 Magnum
Yes.
and shoots Carl probably 4 or 5 times maybe.
I didn't count.
Because there was still a moment where I'm like, is he not dead and he's still going to take the
Right,
shot?
right.
Because there was a lot of like,
When you're on crack.
Yeah, it was like
I
slow motion. It was
can't-
like, ah! And Bruce
Yeah.
Willis is like, fuck.
Yeah.
And this is a big deal because he hasn't pulled his gun out in a long time.
Yes.
Because
So
he
he's
shot a
gained his
child.
confidence
Yes.
back.
Yes.
Yep.
And he's a good cop now. By the way, when him and Bruce Willis see each other for the first time,
They
So
lock
sweet.
eyes
They-
from across the room.
from a crowd, and they're like,
they go,
"You."
That's definitely the guy.
Yes.
So great. Well, like, okay, Al had it easy. Like, obviously, that's John McClane. Look at him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But for John to be like, hey, is crazy.
yeah.
well, he probably saw him coming out of the building too from the top.
Oh, you're totally right. They have seen each other. Or
guess so.
he's seen him.
He's seen
They had an
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
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 Okay, that makes it less magical.
Yeah. But either way, it was definitely that moment of like, that's the lover that I mean, the guy that I
That's
spoke
my
to
friend.
over the
I
radio.
really,
That was sweeter than him reuniting with his wife.
Yes.
honestly,
It
yeah.
was.
I
Because there was
like-
more relationship there.
Yeah.
I got the sense that I was like, these guys are going to be friends forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
BFFs.
They
Yep.
get into
They're
the
going to each other's barbecues.
Then John McClane, without being questioned at all, while the tower is on fire and a helicopter is at the ground, he just climbs into the limo and drives off into the sunset.
Pieces out.
And Christmas music.
Yes. Christmas
is this
music.
a Christmas movie?
Okay, I have here. I definitely see how people can say it's a Christmas movie. There was so many few references. There was no actual references to Christmas, but all of the music.
All
There
the
was
music.
one when Hans is like, "It's Christmas. It's a miracle."
There was
And
another
there
one
was-
when
yeah.
he says
Said it to Takanawa.
he was talking about
Yeah, he said, "I
not
thought
a
Jap
creature
stoned."
was not a creature was stirring except so he was reading that poem
Yeah,
which is
and there's
Christmas.
Christmas. There is the office is Christmas decorated.
Yeah.
in the parts that have been decorated.
I would
it's
say-
right there on the line.
I would
don't
say
know.
it is a Christmas movie technically.
It
but
took place
you
during
can
Christmas.
watch it not during Christmas and it's not weird.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Elf
That'd be weird.
That's like a Christmas movie that you watch during
Yeah.
Christmas.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really give you. It kind of is like Christmas is about family, I guess. 'Cause
There's
that's
good,
what he
yeah. There's
realizes.
good feelings.
True. Forgiveness.
So, I don't know. if
Because
it's
at the
like a
end,
theme.
and then she gives them, they're like, and what's your last name? And she goes, McLean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we go, oh, shit.
Yeah.
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 It always was.
So I think that's it.
That's
Yeah.
it. Boom.
That's the movie.
Yeah.
That's Die Hard, as well as we could explain it.
Man.
All right.
See, I don't want to do
Here's the scary
this
part.
because
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
motherfucker.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Here we go. So this is the part of the podcast where we're going to rate the movie.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to judge it on quality. From a scale from 0 to 10.
And
Our
this is our
personal-
personal opinion.
Personal
Yes.
opinion.
So based on our own experiences and what kind of movies we like.
I feel like we start with me all the time. I want to start with Jesse.
I wasn't expecting this. Okay, well then
Hot seat.
I'll go first. How about that?
And then Casey.
Okay.
So I think so. I did. The viewing of this movie was late in the evening, and the mood was set for sleep. So I did have a tough time towards the end of the movie, towards the probably hour and 50 mark, because it was a really long movie, where I was kind of fading in and out. And I honestly, there was some parts of the movie that I just found out about in the recording of this podcast that were pretty sick. They sounded really cool. I'm excited to maybe go and revisit it. I will say that as far as a rating goes, I would probably have to go like a 7 Zippo lighters out of 10.
Nice.
Okay.
Because I did, I had qualms coming in where I was like, I mean, I went 28 years but without seeing it.
Yeah.
I haven't, it's pretty cool, I guess, according to what other people think.
Right.
So I did kind of have a good time interacting with the movie and watching all the cool stuff. So I'm gonna go 7.
Okay.
on
Awesome.
that.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
It's
So
me.
you
Okay.
go.
Casey.
I'm
Oh boy.
okay. This movie was fucking incredible.
Oh my god.
It is so good.
Yes.
I enjoyed 100% of it. I will watch it every year at Christmas
Yes.
now. It was perfect. I am so sad that it took me this long to finally watch it, and I give it 8 fucking red castles out of 10.
Okay, wow. What a strong.
Bravo.
It was
Wow, that was-
so.
Holy
We
shit.
even stopped to make hot chocolate, and I was like, I fucking love this movie.
Hell
So,
yes.
Chill.
Awesome.
Save it
Holy
for the
shit.
pod.
I have
Awesome.
been on edge. So worried about your rating of this.
So good.
I share your feelings completely.
Yeah.
This movie is, I had even seeing it before, watching it again in the context of really paying attention to it and trying to notice all the cool stuff about it. It fucking rules. This movie rules. There's so many I don't know, this is action movie default. This is the magnum opus of action movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not
The
too
setting's
cheesy, it was
great, not too
perfect.
Yeah.
cheesy. You got it's simple, but it's got its cool little details here and there.
Yeah.
It rules. I go 8.5 toe fists.
Yes.
Yes, awesome.
Okay.
So I don't typically go towards action movies as my thing. That's not my chosen genre usually, and I feel like it's hard to win me over with those because they are, like you guys said, so easy to be cheesy, and usually the acting is terrible, and I don't give a shit about your heist bullshit. But I'm stoked on this movie. I'm stoked on this movie. I agree with you, Ryan. I think it's perfect, and I think it even has potential for a cult following in a way because of for example how they open the movie and it just says Die Hard and it goes
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it's just away and he's smoking a cigarette in an airport. Amazing. So I'm gonna go with 8.2 bloody feet.
Nice.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. So, by the way, I should mention that's not the part I'm worried about ever
Yeah.
during the podcast.
Because it doesn't matter. So that's just what we think about it. Now we're talking about, okay,
It's
should
hard
you
to
see
explain.
it?
Yes.
So this is what makes our podcast unique.
Yes.
And it's the part of the podcast that we don't even understand.
It's the
ourselves.
most frustrating part
Yes.
of our podcast.
So I'm going to try to explain this. This is where we decide where this movie ends up in our vault We're building
yeah.
a database of movies that if these movies hold up and you must actually see them, or if you can pass on them and they don't actually live up to the hype that you think that they
And
have.
this has nothing to do necessarily with our personal opinion of it.
Right. The quality of the movie can be a shit movie, and you can still say you have to see it.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Jesse
Yeah.
has lost it entirely.
I'm panicking now because I feel like I'm re-confused about it.
It's
Okay, what are you
notorious.
confused
Yeah,
about? If you're confused, then so is the audience. So
Yes.
let's hammer it out right now.
Because the way that we had discussed it off pod
Uh-huh.
in our day-long text conversation was that, like, if we were able to tell you about it well enough that you don't have to see it
Yeah.
is what, like, the
But there's other variables.
Right.
Yes, not just that.
Yeah. There's
Right.
not one. Yeah.
right, exactly. So, but the description that I was hearing from you, which is what I feel like that's what I was saying that whole conversation, and then we were trying to figure out what the other.
No, because you construed it with movies that you liked.
Right.
But I'm not saying yeah, but no.
You sound like Quentin Tarantino
This-
talking to black people.
If you haven't seen that video, guys.
Wait.
please-
I'm gonna save that for Popcorner.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
My bad.
yeah. So okay.
So Jesse,
So
if
let's-
there's
yeah.
if it's a movie that, so we can describe the plot points, we can describe cool things we liked, we can describe things we hate, but if it's something that at the end of the day you say sure it's got cool stuff in it, but you can pass on it.
It's not as notorious as people say.
Right. It doesn't live up to the hype.
It doesn't
if you go,
deserve it.
It was cool, kind of cool. It can even be a great movie, but maybe just like boring.
Or it could be something that you love because of nostalgia.
Right.
But
It's hard.
but
It's hard to
doesn't
describe. It's
necessarily
really
mean-
hard to describe.
It's really hard to
It's
describe.
nuts.
It's also hard to vote. So
All right. What order are we doing? Are we doing the starting with you?
Sure.
Okay.
Speed round.
Okay,
So
sorry,
the way that
sorry.
we decide. So
Yeah.
yeah, we have
Yeah.
2 categories that we can vote on.
We can either say manor, which is the
manor?
must-see manor, or we can say pit, which is the pit of despised iconic movies.
Right.
And if it is split 2-2,
It goes into popcorn
it goes
purgatory.
into popcorn purgatory.
This
Yeah.
is the dumbest thing in
With
the
so many others.
We have our culture and we're sticking to it.
Yes.
We're gonna by episode like 100, we'll definitely have this nailed
Yes.
out.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
just grow with us.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't lose hope.
For me. Oh, I guess we'll have to do it fast.
We do it
Yes.
fast.
It's
Okay,
yes.
okay. Manor.
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 Manor!
God, okay. All right, guys, don't freak out. Don't freak out.
All right.
Hi.
Well, let's go ahead and congratulate it.
Yes,
into the manor.
yes.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yippee-ki-yay, manor fucker.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yes.
I am so relieved.
Look at it go.
Wow.
Yay.
Great job.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Oh my
Okay.
Look
God.
at his tiny purse.
Tiny peep? Oh, purse. Okay, sorry.
What were you doing? What is that a reference to?
Lizzo.
Lizzo. Yeah. Tiny purse.
Wow,
Oh my
okay.
God. I'm so relieved.
First
good.
time
Yes.
on the
That was
podcast.
unanimous.
Unanimous.
So Die Hard is in the Platinum Film Club.
Nice.
Ooh,
Oh,
fuck
fucking
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So like,
okay with that.
okay, since we added our new members, that's like it's like, okay, when you look at a manor, a house, and it's like a really big house, so a manor, and it has like these big peaks.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
at the top of it's like the grandfather
Currently, yes.
Yeah.
of the rest of the manor.
It's in the top percentile of the house.
If it's a
Yes.
unanimous 4 votes for Manor, it's in the Platinum.
So we
If
have
it's
now we have
Golden
a fourth.
yeah. If it's a 3,
Okay.
Oh, no.
3 to 1, then it's a gold Manor,
and there's no other.
and then there's no other. Manor.
That's true. Yeah. You're either gold or platinum if you get in
Yeah,
the manor.
yeah.
Obviously. Okay.
Purgatory would be
Cool.
silver, and
Good.
then bronze would be despised pit. I'm
Wow.
so fucking happy.
Yes.
Okay.
Holy shit,
We're still
guys!
friends.
Must see Die Hard.
Lit.
Incredible.
Yes.
Y'all.
So
Incredible.
good.
It was
This
very
is-
good.
This was a lit podcast.
This is so lit. Hey,
It was
it's
lit.
California.
So
So now this is the newest segment that we have called Pop Corner, and let's go ahead and play that theme.
No, god damn it.
Pop, pop,
Fuck
pop,
this.
Pop, 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 pop,
This is so ridiculous.
Pop Corner.
We're absolutely
Yay.
losing viewership.
okay. Good thing nobody
Listenership.
watches.
All right, so
Listenership.
this is just where we kind of give plugs, and since we're not celebrities, we don't really have.
You
anything.
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I would recommend you look up is Quentin Tarantino is bad at talking to black people, and I haven't even shown you guys this, but I will as soon as this podcast.
Can't
Okay, good.
wait.
It's hilarious.
It is the best thing.
If you're interested in good cringe, Primo.
Top tier.
Excited.
That's
That would be
platinum.
platinum manor shit right there.
Does anybody else have something to contribute?
I do. I know that last time we did mention Disney Plus, and we actually watched Free Solo, not Star Wars. So it's a documentary about a free solo climber. He rock climbs without any ropes.
Yes.
And it was so fucking good.
Oh my God.
Yes, he's trying to conquer the. It's in Yosemite. It's called El Cap.
Yeah.
It's like the tallest mountain face or rock face in California, and he tries to climb it without any ropes. That's like the plot behind it. It's
Fucking
very
sick.
very good.
Yeah, that's
Really good.
badass.
It's very good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I stream on Twitch 3 times a week. Twitch.tv/NipseyGG NIPZY. And also I would say for like a actual thing, I know it's already been said previously, The Mandalorian is
it's good.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Have you
amazing.
seen that episode 3 yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for more, and I will not wait for more. Disney Plus is coming in clutch, so I'll also do Disney Plus.
All right.
Get Disney Plus.
All right. Yeah, they
Jeez.
need some more help.
Yeah, they need
help.
a plug or two.
All right. So here's the thing. This might not be popular, but I typically I'm not one of those people. I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I'm not one of those people that's like in love with Disney as an adult. And I think normally it's a little cringe.
Hey.
I love you guys. I love you guys so much. But you have to see Frozen 2.
Oh, I heard good things.
Oh my fucking God. That movie is embarrassingly amazing. I mean, I liked the first one, and like I'm ashamed of how much I love Frozen 2.
She like went out with like a bunch of like
Mom friends.
new mom friends, and she
Aw.
like went out and it was just the moms though.
And I had no interest.
kids.
Yeah, because it was like 9:30 at night. All
Yeah.
our kids were in bed.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really have any interest in seeing Frozen 2 because like I'm not a Disney person. I liked Frozen, but
Yeah.
I'll watch that stuff with my kids when they're old enough. But
She came back and she was literally like, I loved it.
like I cried. I made us listen to the soundtrack on the way to Thanksgiving.
straight up.
Amazing. Go see it.
Wow. Okay.
It's worth the $10.50 or whatever your
Good,
movie ticket
good.
costs.
Strong endorsement.
All right, guys, that is this episode.
Wow.
21 episodes.
Woo!
We're climbing.
Nice.
We're getting up there.
Amazing.
All right.
So
well,
while we have social medias also,
Yep.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email, say hello to my little film
Yes,
at
we
gmail.com.
really want to hear from you.
There's also an audio.
I forgot.
What?
I'll save it for the next one.
We'll save it for the next one.
There's a special
Oh,
thing
yes.
coming up that I got to play for the next one, but unfortunately, it's going to relate to the Home Alone episode.
We
I
might
forgot
add
to
it.
play.
We might add it at the end, possibly.
Possibly, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right.
Real professional.
Anyway,
If you don't hear it,
yeah.
we didn't do it.
Tune in in 2
Tune
more
in
weeks.
next one. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Maybe.
Love you guys.
Yes.
And from all of us at Say Hello, we would like to say good.
I hate this.
Bye.
I hate that so
Play
much.
along once.
Goodbye.